Oh, I hate hay fever season. All right, I see there's a fair chunk of them left, so we're going to do some rapid fire shit. No more chit chat. I'm going backwards. So, Bogdan, hey, it's good to see you. Haven't posted in a while. Follow up next week with a proper one. Question on abundance. Looked for a new job. Course of a month. I've had like 10 recruiters. Oh, yeah, recruiters. All of them better my current role. I've had 2 interviews since I started, nailed both of them. I'm not putting much effort into the job hunt, but I'm allowing opportunities to come to me. You say women have abundance. Is this similar to the abundance when women are naturally in? Do nothing and just have opportunities land in your lap? Yeah, pretty much. It's often said like a guy who's good in the job market should treat jobs the way women treat men. Having said that, it's recruiters. Recruiters are just trying to fill a position because they usually get a commission off of it. Most of their jobs are spent just trolling LinkedIn, trying to find people and attach them in there, get the numbers in and let the hiring managers find them. So don't let it go to your head. But yeah, it's basically abundance. And hey, the interview will go well if they start offering you something out of it. So anyways, you run out of RZ show ideas? Is pair bonding real? Vetting series? Keep the plates spinning. It'll all be fun themes, especially the first two. Trigger half the sphere. Yeah, probably. They'd probably be so confused as the concept, though. Most guys are just like, they just want to talk about hoes and thoughts and fucking yell at Karen, so whatever. My favorite plate asked me to marry her twice this month. She needs a visa and doesn't have the money to do a master's. Holy Jesus Christ. I want to stay in this country. Would you marry me? Yeah, okay. I'll get right on that. That won't go poorly at all. I could, though. Honestly, it's one of these ones, like I love doing them with Carl, but I'm almost looking forward to like a week or two where Carl maybe can't make it too. Because there's a lot of these topics and I like exploring them like alone with you guys, if that makes sense. Pulling like a Stefan Molyneux and just rambling into the camera. Should be fun anyway. But I will put these on the docket. That's going to be fun. To keep the plates spinning. It'll be mostly me learning from Carl because, I mean, my plates were never permanent. Like 30-day rotations kind of thing. So this is actually something I would actually need to work on if I got back on the dating market, keeping the plates spinning for longer periods of time. Uh-oh. Johnny. That's not good. Taking the first steps along Ruben's path now. So far, a small field report and a question. Wife has a shit attitude. Called her on it. Why are you calling her on it? You guys are separating. It's not your problem anymore. She kept it up. I removed myself. Yeah, dude, these are relationship strategies. Why are you wasting your time? You decided you're leaving. You should be fairly indifferent towards this shit. She kept following me around the house, like that verbal intercourse is optional thing. Did you picture her as if she was running around waving her dick in the air? By the way, if you guys don't know what we're talking about, I'll show you. Get out of the way. It's this one. Verbal intercourse is optional. A great way to understand how talking and fucking are basically the male and female equivalent of each other. Ah, son of a bitch. Followed around the house, went to study, finally said, or do you leave the room or I leave the apartment? She kept it up and then physically barred the door. She's so petite I could easily push past her, but I want to set myself for a DV charge. That's the other thing to be concerned about. Like, I'm not saying she's doing this, but I've heard stories of girls who basically provoke a guy into violence so they can fucking push this route. So, don't be surprised. I don't know. You'll know her better than me. Doesn't sound like she's that kind of person, but you know, treat all guns as loaded. God damn it, this keeps scrolling off at the damn post. Gave her an hour to cool things off. She continued when I got back. I managed to lock the door of the study, which had her banging the door down for an hour and a half and trying to climb in the window. Jesus Christ, she's losing it. Oh, good. You would tape the whole thing in case I needed it. Yeah. This can work in your favor, by the way. The more irrational she handles herself and the less reactive you are to it, like these things can only work out in your favor, especially if the courts start to get more adversarial. Because one guy, I want to say it was RF Plus, but I could have the username wrong. Not that it matters for here, but his wife would like accuse him of domestic violence and diddling the kids and cheating and all this shit, and just kept throwing accusations at him. And the problem is the courts always have to take them seriously. So his life got put through hell. He got put in front of like a social worker. They have to basically decide, are you dangerous enough that we need to fucking kick you out right now? But he just, stayed calm. We realized, like, I get it. You're just doing your job. Let me know what you need. It's pretty insulting, but whatever. What am I going to do? Freak out about it? It's not the kind of person I am. And then sure enough, wife got in front of a judge where the judge finally got the chance like 3 to 6 months later to talk about this. And she just fucking went off on everything. And the judge kind of realized, okay, this chick's fucking crazy. He ended up winning. It was awesome. Although the second judge, because the first judge ended up getting a reprimand because the first judge was actually white knighting. It's a very weird case, but super fascinating on this stuff. But yeah, so you're doing the good things so far. The recording it doesn't hurt at all. Anyways, finally when I was about to go to sleep, I gave her 5 minutes to blab. Why? Why would you reward that? That's the other thing. A lot of fighting, a lot of nonsense, but this is like when my dog gets up on the counter, steals a piece of food because I left it too close. He will check that counter 100 more times now because all he needs is to get up there the once. And if the next 100 times I leave something up there once, and I always do, he's going to check it 200 times now and then 300. You're reinforcing bad behavior here. Again, you guys are separated. You don't need to hear this crap. You don't. But you let her blab. You rewarded this bad behavior. And I warn you right now, this will get worse by the behaviors you've taken. There is nothing wrong with saying, the way you act right now, I'm not talking to you. Let it go. You want to talk about it? We'll talk tomorrow when you're calm. But you didn't do any boundary enforcement here. You just eventually acquiesced. Again, you got to be consistent, man. When I was halfway asleep, she started fiddling. Oh, yeah, she had the itch, had to get scratched. Told me she loves me. I removed her hands, repeated. Just be roommates, make things work for the kid until we can move apart without a hassle. Next morning, she apologized. Well, yeah, it's because she did kind of come to her senses. But that's the thing. Next time this happens, it's going to get worse. She's just stressed about the move. On the rag, it's full moon. I will say this. Your preparation and logistics are bang on. As far as like the sleeping with the wife, I don't know what your lawyer suggested one way or the other. From what I've seen, most guys, if you're in a place that needs that 12 months of separation, then it resets the clock if you guys have sex. Other places don't give a shit. Sometimes it's the guy is too emotionally attached that he doesn't have the proper separation to play his wife like this. Again, there's no wrong answers here. Just make sure you're acting within your capabilities and according to your desires. If you have a woman who's like this, physically barring your way out, follows around, threatens DV charge, what does one do apart from finding another place to stay? That's the thing, man. Like, you have to essentially run away. Like, there's nothing you can do. Which is a very ego... it's an ego shrinking event when you realize you have zero power in that situation. Like, if she starts hitting you, you have to basically run away. If she wants to throw herself into the coffee table and bang her knee and blame you for it, there's nothing you can do. You got to run away. And that's the thing. You just have to understand you don't have the power in the situation. It's like the same as if you were going to get mugged by some guy. Well, I'd use my jujitsu on him this, and I'd pull out a knife that. I have a gun. It's like, no, you fucking run, man. You're going to fight some crackhead? You don't know if he's got a knife. He doesn't feel any pain. He's on crack. Maybe he's got a gun too. Do you think you're faster than he is? He doesn't give a fuck. Fucking don't be their jitsu. And again, that's how you get around it. You run away. You run away and you log this shit, because if any of this ever comes back as a domestic violence charge, it's the onus is on you to prove it didn't happen, not on her to prove it did happen. I just realized the fucking chat window, I didn't have it open here. But yeah, I know you did as you should. Physically remove yourself. And don't worry about your pride. Put that shit away. You can worry about pride when you have access to your kids. Kind of done playing the nice beta. I'm not mean, still support her with money, advice and shit, but hugs and other kind of stuff. She wants to feel like she made me when she's bitchy. Keep in mind, too, don't worry about your feelings. Don't fucking worry about what you feel about this. This is a strategic decision to supplicate in order to get an advantage in the court case. You got to think long term. The roommate's arrangement is fine. Am I letting my ego blind me here, or should I just reward bad behavior for a month to smooth things over? You're not rewarding bad behavior, but you're not trying to dominate like a husband would. You're not trying to do that shit. Just focus on the prize. What actions do I take that will help or hinder me in the upcoming divorce? That's all you got to focus on. In your case, the DV stuff, run away. If it's about her blabbing things, don't listen. It's not your job to listen anymore. You want to reward bad behavior? No, you don't want to reward bad behavior because that's how you get more behavior. But yeah, no, don't. Boundaries are important here too. You need to keep this stuff as amicable as possible. Don't do anything based on your feelings. I see Mark there talking about his plan B, the French Canadian girl. Fucking French girls, man. Very attractive, cute in bed, but they're just fucking crazy. Finished the second date, girl was super invested, but didn't even kiss me. Weird. Well, then she wasn't super invested. Technically. If you really want to get into it. Alright. So yeah, it's good though. Dude, you handled your first test pretty well. A couple small mistakes, but whatever. Hey, Red Dubs. Oh, dude, I haven't seen that in a long time. So, talking to her about a threesome. She's open to having one, but she cannot imagine me fucking another woman. During quarantine, we become hermits, and I've paused on my cheating. I think COVID strengthened our relationship. Well, it's just cut off your options. But it's made her think we have a tradcon lifestyle. Did it? Or was it your actions that did that? Don't blame COVID. You became a house husband, of course. When I brought up threesomes, her response was not what I expected. She's worried about losing you. I teased her about being a little bit lesbian and approaching my masculinity. She's open to it but needs some guides. Yeah, you're not leading this one, man. You're negotiating desire too much. And I'm not the best guy to ask about this stuff, but where is Uncle Vaz's guide to threesomes? One sec here. Hey, there she is. This is about the only good research I have in the area. This is like a lawyer from New York in his 50s. Open long-term relationships. And yeah, she's going to want to control things because she's not super open to it, but it's conversation, so she can back out of it too. Oh, Polish girl. Nice. Taking her to a strip club, make sure she has a good experience with it. Yeah, again, this is... You know what this reminds me of? Getting a couple of lap dances, some alcohol for her, not me, and making sure she's good. Going to a strip club, semi-regular, build up some trust. Then I just fuck the shit out of the other girl in front of her. She's a very shy girl, been insecure about herself, and has a huge ego investment about being a good girl. I know it'll take some work. What do you think about my plain and common problems to look for? I think effect over effect nails it pretty much. Women live in the moment. Like, you can't just... Here's a good example. This guy, Red Curious, Christian guy, lawyer in the Red Pill. He used to call his wife conflict avoidant, or avoidant attachment, and that she was repulsed by his touch. And so he had this great plan to like touch her like just on the head, and then move to the neck, and then to the shoulders, and then to the back. And the idea was like desensitizing her to his touch, to which was the most stupid fucking thing we ever heard of. And I kind of get the same vibes here. It's where you think you can ease her into it. Just put a toe in the pool, then a foot in the pool, then maybe a little bit more, and then turn up the water a little bit. And the idea is, yeah, and that doesn't work. It comes across as manipulative. It never achieves the desired effect. If she is shy and insecure about herself, and you are definitely going down this route, the issue here, and it's something, to be fair, Jack Murphy actually said, which was fucking brilliant to me, when he found for him, when he'd be doing threesomes and taking other Tinder dates home and that with his girlfriend, he just said, I just dialed up the beta a lot. Because you got to realize, like, You don't need a lot of alpha in your relationship if you're railing chicks in the next room or if you're having threesomes. That naturally provides just enough. And that's why a lot of like naturals who are sexually prolific tend to act like the most comfortable beta male types ever. It's because they can afford to be. Now, between that and Uncle Vazia's Guide to Threesomes, it's going to be the best I can offer for you there. Oddly enough, not a lot of dudes banging threesomes in the sphere. You're one of the few. And this is probably the best resources I've found on it. Whisper actually has 2 girlfriends that live with him too. But he doesn't talk about them as much other than they're hooked on him. But 1 second. Wonder if he's still around. Here's an old guy. Om La La. Let me see if we can find it. Online dating. He had like an LTR guide. I want to see if there's anything in there I can offer for you too. Here, something for you guys. He's been off for like a while, so you might not even know about him. But if you're ever bored, here's a good list of some of his stuff. Where is it when I'm looking? No, it definitely wasn't his stuff then. Fuck, who was the relationship guy? Oh, well. Yeah, fuck, I can't find the other one. Was it conditioning? And Lucy tries harder, maybe. No, I don't think he has that on here. That sucks. All right, whatever. I can't find it. What I got for you there is the best we got so far. Yeah, your approach right now of trying to ease her into it, though, it's not going to work. A lot of guys have tried it. The negotiation stuff does not work. Getting her into more of like a degenerate lifestyle could work. But generally, and from most of the guys that I know in my life who have had threesomes, it's usually the girl that kind of picks the other girl and runs hunting. It makes things so much easier. So you taking the charge on this? I mean, maybe you'll figure something out. If so, it'll be nice. I just realized RF Plus might actually have something for you too. So let's see if we can find his. And then we can push you towards that. Hey, has Ryan woke up yet? I've woken up. You just caught me while I'm specifically looking for something. Keep the microphone going just a little bit. Son of a bitch. He's not posted in a while, has he? I hate how he's got that stupid name. It's so hard to pronounce. Oh, wait. There he is. Red SF Plus. I don't think he's got anything specific about it, but we'll see if he's got it. He has a lot of stuff on anal training. Rape fantasies. Shutting your whore mouth. Oh, that's a good one. Ooh, actually, that might work. When to use communication, when not to use communication. It's going to go back to like 3 questions ago. It might be a good read. I'll throw that one in the chat as well. Manage your bitches. Main event. Father's Day. 1 cost per fuck. Wife getting into horseback riding. I saw no rejected sex from wife. This one might be good for John, actually, too. Anyways, I feel that the world sees me as beta. Dubs, who gives a shit? That's not your concern, man. Anyways, so we'll go on that one here. Did I get... All right, that's this one. Okay, so we still got Johnny and Effect. Okay, he's got 3 re-ups. Yeah, so Red, that's going to be the best we got for you. If I'll find something more, I'll put it in here. All right, so great advice last week. Solidify what I need to do and what I didn't need to worry about. What have you done, though? Continue on, accept it'll take time. My identity's based around someone who improves himself. Now that I have most of the big 3. Yeah, okay, clashes my identity. Need something wrong with me to work on. Yeah, so you got that standard thing. Girls traveling for work. 1 month here, 1 month away. Oh, fun times, man. It's like fucking being single half the time. Not interested in long distance. He's upset and adamant that we can make it work. I said we can trial it. If I don't see any problems or issues, we'll consider it. Yeah, it's long distance doesn't really work, but I mean, to be fair, a lot of the guys, their girls stayed loyal throughout a deployment, so it depends. How long is this placement thing, the 1 month off, 1 month on? Is it like a year? In which case, yeah. You basically demoted down to plate. But, I mean, lie to her. Yeah, sure, we'll give it a chance to work, and then just go ahead as if it's not working. Which is kind of what you're doing anyway. Yeah, find some replacements in 4 weeks. So yeah, you kind of understand all this stuff. So yeah, there's nothing I can offer you here. You understand. Best gift I can give the feelings. There's a tweet a while back. Rich posted along the lines of, I checked his phone and I'm glad he doesn't have hose, but why doesn't he have hose? Oh yeah, that one's funny. I remember that one. Picking a fight about nothing the other day. I said, I'm not fighting about this. And that she should call me back later when she's normal, and hung up the phone. She calls back later and tries to pick another fight, and I'm abandoning her, and she needs me rather than working it out. Should have just hung up. Talking too much. I thought I was clear. Did I stutter? The fewer words in general for these kind of things, if you're asserting boundaries, the fewer words you use, the better. And I know this sounds weird because like that's like a sentence, but yeah, it's like, did I stutter? 3 words. We already talked about this. I'll talk to you later. Very dismissive. But that's the thing. It's broken record. You're just reestablishing your boundary. She doesn't trust that the boundary is enforceable, so she pushes it and tries to do it, and then just, yeah. Or just hang up. I understand. It's just emotion. It's not her fault. She's not a bad person. She's talking to me. She's calmed down. Doesn't act this way towards me. Yeah, see? You just talk too much. That's all that is. Yeah. Tears and bubbles. Yeah, it's just breakup talk. Just afraid and doesn't feel safe. Says she doesn't know what she would do without me in her life, and says she's always in past relationships been the one that other people needed. Yeah, see there. It's not about she loves you. It's that she was always the one needed, and she kind of gets comfort in that. And the fact that you're not offering that is what's making her mad. It's nothing to do with any of this stuff. It's just how she feels about it. Never been the one that needs the other person that she feels. She'd be sad if it ended, and then I love her, and I get over it pretty quickly. I said if we treat each other well, why would it end? Oh, fuck, man, you're talking way too much. It would have been way easier just to say, yeah, we'll give it a shot and see what happens, and then just go and do what you were going to do anyway. Girls like the lie. They like the narrative. It gives them an idea of closure. Chances are, after the month, she'll come back and be just as happy to see you, or she won't. But either way, all this talking was just because you were too honest. Kayfabe, man. Yeah, we can give that a shot. We'll see what happens. Sounds good. Still do what you're doing, but you're giving her that lie she wanted to hear. Naked on FaceTime. Sorry for picking a fight. Asked me to help her sort some flight details. Tuh. Would not have gone the same way. Well, thank God for that, man. Like I said, it's not bad. Talk too much, but at least you stuck to your guns and you held your boundaries. So I gotta like preface these with just like not dunking on it if it's like we're nitpicking over details here. But that's, oh, for fuck's sakes. Don't sweat it. Thanks for your help. I'm staying subscribed because I enjoy the community and still need to thoroughly internalize this in my mind. My relationship is night and day since I joined. Dude. Yeah, I think Mike nailed it just right there. You set your boundary and she did you the favor of showing you your status in her eyes. She's not ride or die and hasn't earned it, nor does she deserve to be rewarded with fidelity. Yeah. But you kind of get that anyway, so it's good. Dude, I'm glad to see it. A little shit like this, like, it's not as intense as, like, Ruben with his divorce or John with his upcoming divorce, but fuck, man. I'll take any W's I can. Okay, so I think the last ones here are Johnny, because we did all these ones. Yeah. Okay, so Johnny, we're going to end this off on you, and then we'll see you guys next week. Met a girl for a sniff test from Facebook dating app. Sniff test? Oh, I was like, what, you doing coke? Pretty shit, which is so weird. I didn't know Facebook had a dating app. I'm going to have to get on to Facebook and see what the fuck's up with this. Although Facebook Marketplace, I've heard things too. Is there anything that Facebook doesn't do? Business-wise, supposedly I'm supposed to be on it, so. Meet me outside one of the tube stations next to the big park. Bring bread so we can feed the birds. It's not bad. That's like the mystery thing, the compliance testing. Fuck, if I didn't know any better, I said you read all the books, you know what you're doing. Asked her what coffee she drinks. Brought coffee right before, so we don't have to waste time on it since it's getting dark quickly, plus me leading being in control. Yeah, dude. Your logistics are down tight. You see this, though, guys? Everything is a purpose. Everything there. Give her something to do so she's invested in the date. Find out what she likes, but you're not investing super much yourself, so you don't end up scaring her off because a date's being a waste of time. Ooh, she's a taller broad. Okay, that's not bad, though. Like I said, you're like an inch shorter than me, and she's like an inch taller than me, or somewhere around there. Anyway, depends who you ask. I'd have to do the centimeter metric one because I don't know what I am in feet anymore. I just know it's 175 centimeters. But that's not bad. I thought you were going to say something like she was 6'2" or 6'4". That's way too tall. But I mean, whatever. Facebook doesn't give a platform to conservative views, so that's a one thing they don't do. All right, fair enough. Although we'll see. I don't know. Everybody says you're supposed to get conservative as you get older. I realize, like, the rare time when I have, like, a political opinion, they're not the most conservative ones, other than economically. I'm very economically libertarian. But I don't really have a problem with the gays or trans issues and that. To be honest, I consider trans issues like a rounding error. Like, it just does have no... I guess that puts me as, like, political ambivalent. Whatever. Anyways, talking about the tall chick. She wasn't late when I met her, but she forgot the bread. I didn't make it a big deal because apparently she was rushing to get ready for work, forgot about it. Oh, yeah, so that's exactly the same thing we talked about the dinner on the PFP episode. She apologizes, just late for it, sounds reasonable, whatever, don't sweat it. The worst thing you can do is get mad about it, which is good because, I mean, you don't always do it, but the couple times where you ran into some turmoil was usually because you did. So, mind you, it's such an easy thing, who cares, right? Walked to the park, had some laughs, spent an hour on the park bench making out and talking shit. So the whole date took a few hours, went home. What I took from the date was this. Boyfriend cheated, 5-year LTR. Quite calm energy. Multiple comments about how she wants a man. Sent a bit of desperation. How old was she? Don't know. Maybe she's just one of those girls that doesn't want to be alone. Seemed a bit weird in the way she talked and acted. 5 sisters. Dad died a few months ago. Will she expect something more? I still invited her to my place to watch a movie a few days later. Yeah, well, like, whatever. She's a big girl. She knows why she's coming over there, and she can want whatever she wants. Doesn't mean she's going to get it. Worst case scenario, you have your fun, you move on, and she goes on to Twitter and complains about how, like, men don't want to settle down and we're just dogs. And then a bunch of white knights will say, not all men are like that, but she's, like, not attracted to them, so she's like, just shut up. You guys are kind of seeing it now. By the way, literally, that situation is how the girls end up on Twitter talking about, like, they just want a man to settle down with and men are dogs and shit like that. That's how it happens. It's just, they just don't have good girl game. Yep. At least to give her a good fuck. This is actually good. It's an old mystery thing where he talks about, if you had any type of anxiety or ambivalent or like concerns about approaching a girl or sleeping with a girl, picture in your mind that after you talk with her, somebody's going to pay her $100. Doesn't matter if the conversation goes well or poorly. And for a lot of guys, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to get out of your head that you need them to be impressed by you. The impression is just like natural. It's a nice little trick. But I mean, you're seeing, and the beauty of it is you're watching Johnny kind of do that to himself, like automatically justify this in his own mind as like a good thing. Excuse me. But it's good. Like I said, everybody lies to themselves. At least for once, he's lying to himself in a way that will benefit him and other people. To be fair, I mean, it's not that much of a lie either. Nobody gets mad because they had good sex. Took an Uber. Also bought me wine. Oh, nice. Dressed up a lot. Almost like going clubbing. Made an effort. Awesomes. Tunes, made out, sat on the sofa, flirting and chilling. So when are we going to watch a movie? I said, chill girl, we will. We're getting that escalation point again. I always get these wrong, by the way. I always think, like with you and with Gunsmoke, I'm like, that's probably going to be a blowout. And sure enough, the girls plow through. So it's like, the easiness of girls now is fucking crazy. Did you watch Gunsmoke, by the way? Picked a movie, watched it for 1.5 hours. At the time, she had her head on my lap. You're like a girlfriend experience. Aw. Go along with the whole thing. After the movie, put music and slowly went for it. All right. Foreplay, shit like that. Yeah, just don't make it weird. If you don't make it weird, they don't make it weird. Because girls are very bad with height. Like, she probably doesn't think of it as her being taller than you. Like, did she wear flats? That's the big question. If she considered your height an issue, she would have showed up to your place in flats. If she didn't, she'd have showed up in heels. That's the indication of if it's going to be weird on her part. Oh, shoot. Project Veritas just got deplatformed. That sucks. I kind of like them, too. I like how they get some fucking soy to always admit, yeah, we're being an asshole. What of it? I'm like, how do you get people to admit this stuff openly? All right, whatever. Dirty talk, shift gears. She got a bit of anti-slut defense or last-minute resistance. Can't do this. Yeah, it's funny. I think this came up before, too, and you kind of just did a freeze out and went for it. I noticed something you don't do. I don't know if it's going to matter to you or not, and if I read on, it may not even be a fucking issue, but just, throwing the thoughts out as we're going through it, where you preempt the last-minute resistance by saying something to the effect of, we can't do this anymore. Like, preemptively, doing this before she does it, which works well. Shoes with platforms. Oh, yeah, then she doesn't give a shit about the height. Didn't even think about it. That's a good thing on your side. Just don't be weird. Yeah, could have done a freeze out, just didn't care anymore. Did you not care? And here's a question. Did you not care anymore because you got other girls lined up? Or did you not care anymore because you had a covert contract about this? It could have gone either way. I'm assuming it's because you got other plates and you're like, whatever. If I have one, if I don't have one, it's no big deal. You're always a tough one, too, because it could be just as likely that your ego invested in something you shouldn't. And it's just as likely you have enough abundance that you just don't need any of the hassle. So I always have to ask. Still tried to escalate more. She was too nervous, kind of anxious. She buttoned up her dress and straight away called Uber. Went to my kitchen, sorted my laptop, completely ignored her. When the taxi arrived, she asked me if I'll walk her downstairs to it. I said, you're not dumb. You'll find the way. Thought I had looking. She left me in a hurry. Excuse me. Bit pissed off. Didn't see any fuck-ups on what should have passed on sex, but I don't remind, so I just unfollowed her on socials and went to jerk off. After finished, she would have texted me, why the F have I unfollowed her, which I replied, sorry babe, I don't play games. Her response was, but you do. I left it unread. I wonder. It's hard to say. She could have been waiting for a 3-date rule. She could have been just a little harder nut to crack. And you're well within your right to say, yeah, I'm not putting in that much effort. But that's the thing. Now, let's say you did want to put in the effort. Would it have made a difference? And my personal thoughts on it is I always hate closing doors. Even if I have abundance, I always like leaving them open. Can't go wrong with that. So, my initial thought is don't, nuke them, completely fucking ghost them for the smallest thing here. But at the same time, if you have enough abundance that you can have her replaced very easy, you can get away with that. But it's all about like I said, the only thing I would say from my end is just make sure you're not looking for a reason to kick girls out just to show you have abundance. Actually have abundance. Does that make sense, the difference there? Both probably, and a lack of desire. Yeah, well, I know the stuff that she did. You're very clear about what she did. I don't care what she did. I'm focused on you here. And that's the thing. She did all these behaviors. Now, you reacting to them is based on what you want. In this case, if you just want cheap, easy lays, if it's effort, I don't feel like putting up with that. No. The being mean thing, I don't know. This seems... Here, do you want to know? Here's my honest impression from this bit here. Like the walking her to the car. You're not an idiot. You'll find your way. This kind of has the vibe of like you're trying to teach her a lesson. How dare you turn me down, bitch? Why'd you unfollow me? I don't play games. It's like a very smug and condescending thing, like you're trying to teach her a lesson. In which case, I think it's totally not necessary. Yeah, plenty of times, limited options. Okay, so here. Take this for what it's worth. It's not advice you need to take, but it's something to consider. Let's say you're still done with it. None of this stuff changes. But the only thing that changes is your response to, will you walk me downstairs? To which you say, you don't need me to, like, just less confrontational, I guess. Instead of saying, you're not an idiot, you'll find the way. Just, you'll be fine. I'm kind of tired. Don't worry. Not even walking her down. Just not saying you're not an idiot. You know what I mean? Or then, why the F have you unfollowed me? Of course, if you unfollowed her, why are you responding to this at all? That's my question. What was the goal for this statement right here? Why would you say that? Why did you give her the satisfaction of understanding your mindset? Why does she need to know what you were thinking? Why does she need to know why you did it? That's the thing that I'm focused on here. And I'm not able to articulate it, but there's something there. There's something there from your side that's worth working on. And I remember there was this old post in the Married Red Pill that kind of the same thing where the guy was like, it's not the same as yours, but you'll see why I'm bringing it up in a second. And he was talking about how wife wasn't sleeping with him. They weren't having sex. He started getting more attractive, running through dread. And then there was this one time where she hit on him and he shot her down. And he came in, he was so proud. He's like, yeah, she shot me down for years. And now I just wasn't feeling it, so I shot her down. And I'm like, well, that fucking showed her, didn't it? You're the man. And that was all I said. And it was funny. Like the guy just stopped in his tracks. Like, what? Everybody was making fun of him. It's like, yeah, basically, you were just trying to teach her a lesson in respect. And you're a very tough guy, and it's great. And then you didn't end up getting laid. Was it worth it? There's something there. But again, there's a part of it that you're overly irritated with that I think it's worth letting go. Because you've got abundance. You've got other girls lined up. It's not an issue. But there's still an anger behind this stuff. Like an expectation, a covert contract, a way that they need to act right. Because do they not know you could have 5 girls over here tomorrow if you wanted to? How do you not know this shit? And it's because, like, fuck, nobody can read your mind. Maybe the revenge. Yeah. Now, if it's an anger phase thing, it'll go away with time. You'll eventually slip into a more comfortable way of doing these things. But it's worth exploring it. Why do you need her to know that you're fucking done with her? And if she's not fucking you, then you have nothing but patience or time and patience for her. Like, let's put it this way. Let's say it was a stranger. Somebody you just met at the grocery store, a buddy, maybe you go rock climbing with later. Maybe you want to ride a motorbike with. Maybe he's like, oh, you're a friend of Jim's. And then you remove him from social media and he goes, hey, why'd you remove him from social media? How would you treat a stranger? Would you treat a stranger like this or not? Ideally, I would argue, if you're with a girl and she's not valuable to you anymore and you're going to ditch it, treating her no better or no worse than a stranger is a perfectly rational thing. So I think there's some movement there. But as for the motivations why, it's really hard to parse, and I couldn't give an articulate reason like I have with some of the other ones on this. I see the end result. I just don't know how to get you from here to there other than by just telling you just fucking do it. So we'll see. Promiscuity paradox. Slutty fatty at one of the talk shows complaining the double standard. Why are you wasting your time on that mind rot? Fatty made a quite interesting point claim that if men want a girl to have a low notch count, how come they're expecting for a girl to put out the first date without even having a goal of admitting it? Yeah. Guys want girls to be a slut. They just want her to be his slut. Is that so hard to understand? We want everything. Guys want a girl to be a complete virgin. Like if you take a perfect guy in a utopian world, you want 18-year-old virgins to like just fucking jump on you the instant they can. Unlimited sexual options. Girl here is trying to make like a fair world thing. Just doesn't work that way. Yeah, and it's hypocritical, but fucking everybody's a hypocrite. Welcome to the club. I would also discredit a girl who I sense is a whore, but at the same time wouldn't deal with one or even give her a chance to be one if she didn't put out max within 3 dates. Yeah, it's just the way we're hardwired. It doesn't make any sense, but it kind of does. Slutty girls signal promiscuity, which signals infidelity. Guys want fidelity. They want a girl to be loyal. But at the same time, guys like fucking. So if a girl's not fucking them, they also lose interest in her. Hormonally, there's a whole bunch of pathways to describe that. It's just the way it is. But yeah. And dealing with that, like you can go one side or the other. You can eventually just not shame girls for any behavior, and then you end up being a cuck. Or you can end up with a guy who won't do anything unless you got a virgin waifu, in which case you end up as like a fucking, lonely incel. Ideally, as a guy, you're going to find a middle ground where, yeah, a little bit of slutty behavior is fine, but none of that shit while we're dating. That's usually where most people find their ways. The egg or chicken debate. That's why it's a useless one to have. Just understand you have those two drives. They're at odds, and you got to find where along that spectrum you want to place yourself. And do we have these ideas because we need to adapt, and the sluts will be sluts and slay the pussy? It's all basically instincts, right? Like girls were kind of selected for ability to manipulate. Because the ones that were better able to manipulate ended up having better quality of children, last to adulthood to spread their own genes. So it's like a self-selecting process. This is before we even became humans. Animals do this too. And we just kind of took that hardwiring and added a brain on top of it. At the same time, guys who are more easily able to be manipulated kind of got weeded out of the gene pool, but not fully. Because even guys who get manipulated into raising another man's kid will often have a kid of their own. So there's always like an element of it there. At the same time, guys who are better able to detect manipulation are more likely to have their own kids survive and plow through. And you got all these different, and I don't want to get too mentally masturbation-y about it, but all these things kind of drive behaviors. And so we have like an instinctual pathway. And that's why you can both not want to be with a girl unless she puts out. You don't want to be taken advantage of, her to take all your resources so your caveman die before you have a baby, because she'll jump ship as soon as she finds a guy that's worth her time. And at the same time, you don't want a girl who's a slut because she's probably gonna come with some other cave kids, and then you're wasting all your money on them. She'll fuck a cave dude and have a different cave baby, and you're raising all these other kids and none of them are yours. But yeah, it makes sense. And again, look into the Evo Psych stuff. The books that I recommended in chapter 1 of Practical Female Psychology, like Red Queen, and what's the other one? I think Alpha God. Anyways, those ones are good if you want to go down that rabbit hole. But yeah, don't worry about it too much. And this one here, and like I said, from a like an objective, rational standpoint, Mike's got the perfect idea here. It's because instinctively we're just picturing it's every dude he's fucking. And he's right. Girls could do this, could do that. And if you're approaching it from an objective lens, if you're thinking it through, if you're using your eyes to make your judgments and not your heart, it all makes sense. But your instincts don't work like that. So it's part of what we do here is kind of getting past all the girls being whores. Like here, great example. This will put it in the best terms I could think of. This time I know exactly what I'm looking for and where to find it. Obsessing over a slutty past is an indirect pedestal. Assume she's a slut, but don't obsess. Sperm Wars. Thank you. That was the other one. This is generally how you get around it. Assume all girls are slutty. Assume they're all bad. Assume they're all trash. Assume they all belong to the streets. And then it's kind of the girl's job to make you loyal. Make retention strategies. It's about as instinctual as it gets. And then the idea is, are all women like that? Sure. This one's not. How do you know that? Because she's done her best to show me she's not like that. Does that make sense? That's like a lot of guys like, I love all women. It's like, all of them? Even Casey Anthony? It's like, I won't tell you I love all women. I don't love all women. I barely like strangers. But my girl shows me she's awesome. So yeah, I like her. I even tell her, it's like all this talk, when I talk about hoes and sluts, I'm not talking about you. Well, why not? You're talking about all women? Yeah, but all women didn't hook me and make me a taco. So fuck it. She earned the right to be not all women are like that. You know what I mean? Dude, I'll feed you. Just fucking chill out. All right, get down. And I think we hit all of them, so that's good. Anyways, that's the 2-hour one. Yeah, kayfabe. To end on Dub's thing here, yeah, kayfabe isn't about lying. Lying is something different. Lying is manipulative. Kayfabe is like a shared delusion, if that makes sense. It really is a strong and powerful concept. It's pathos. It's emotional resonance. It's telling people what they want to hear so they can dispel belief in order to achieve a mutual goal. Because most people need emotional detachment from their own self-interest, especially women. It's just one of those things you got to learn. Anyways, I'm going to have some dinner, and then I'll set up next week's stuff. So I'll see you guys there. And yeah, Johnny, get back to me with this one too. I'm curious to see where this goes, because like I said, there's anger there. I just wish I could tell why. Like if I had to take a guess, I'd say it's because of the ex-girlfriend, and the idea of her rejecting you is you want to reject other girls to kind of get your power back. Same as like when a girl gets like assaulted sexually, they turn into a giant mega slut to kind of win their sexuality back. But it's just a guess. All red pill creators are like that. Dude, if I ever find out that I'm like the same as every other red pill content creator, I'm going to shoot myself in the face. Fuck. Waste of my life. Anyways, thank you, Marty. But I'll talk to you guys soon. And like I said, if I don't get it up today, I'll get it up tomorrow, the posts. And I don't think there was anything else I need to worry about. Oh, the website. I mean, I did a visual rebranding of it, so give it a check. I think you'll enjoy the new one. It's a little bit easier to look through in that.